Good.
It's a great day, sports world. What's up to all the sports lovers, the haters, the addicts, and the fanatics out there? This is Larry Patterson for GT365's Game Time 365 Sports right here on the GTSN. That's the Game Time Sports Network. Got my guy Mon here, Monzy. We back. This is episode 9, I believe. We've been away from the pod for so long because we've been doing the 32 and 32. Got that wrapped up, and now we here, episode 9. We back at it. How you been, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Like you said, man, we've been doing it 32 for 32. That was a long grind, month and a half. We actually got some real football on the field now, so I'm excited, man. It's I forgot how many days we're out in there. 18 days, 2 Sundays from now, or Thursday, however you want to look at it, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So yeah, man, it's time to get real. So I'm excited and happy.
Is getting close. And also, for those who haven't touched on seen the 32 and 32, you can go back. I believe it's still on Facebook, and then definitely on YouTube. You can check all the episodes out on your favorite team, see what we missed, see all the in-depth things that we did go over, and all the special guests that we had on there as well. So go ahead and check that out. We're gonna preview, well, not preview. We're gonna go back over week, it was week 1 and 2, but we just gonna do week 2. Uh, so from here on out, we'll recap the games, and then later on in the week, when it gets closer to uh, Sunday game time, or I know we'll have a Thursday night game preview. Sunday preview games. We'll bring you that, like that old feel of like a NFL countdown show or something like that, giving you all the in depth looks and the marquee matchups you'll be looking to toward Sunday football. So the first game that we going to touch on Friday was the Titans and the Falcons. The Titans got the win 23-20 in that game. Cam Ward 2 for 7, 42 yards. I did not like the attempts in that game. He had 8 attempts the week before, 7 attempts this week. I feel like for a number one overall pick. And I'm gonna say the thin ice that Cam Ward is on, I feel like he should, and as well as the head coach as well, the thin ice that he's on as well. I feel like he should at least have more attempts. Now, I also will say I had to go back and look at the game and see how that actually, correlated out. But I wanted to see more attempts out of my quarterback. What you say to that, Amon?
Yeah, I know. We had a conversation off air about this a couple of days ago. Yes, I know you would like to see the attempts or and everything. By the way, Cam Ward did make a couple beautiful throws in that game. One to Van Jefferson where he just had to come in. He just had to catch that from the end zone angle. I mean, that throw was that was amazing.
And
But
somebody missed a pass too, right? Was that what the one
yeah,
you were talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing throw. For him to get the layer of that ball over to have the depth and projection, that was amazing to me. But I know you feel like you say you wanted to see more attempts out of Cam Ward. I feel a little different. Um, I think he only needs to get his feet wet. Run what the scripted plays that the coach had for him the first drive, and good as well as I do. These players are investments for these franchises. So you don't want anything to happen to Cam Ward where he gets hurt in the preseason, and then hey, your whole fan base and your whole organization, they're riding on him to carry the football team as a rookie. So that's a lot of pressure on the coaches and Cam Ward itself. If something was to happen to him in that Falcons game, you're not going to be whoever their backup quarterback is. I'm not really sure. You're not going to want to trot him out. Game one versus the Denver Broncos. I think they played Denver week 1. You don't want to trot that backup out. Like I said, it's all about, yes, you want to give reps on the field. Um, yeah, yeah, they played that team in Mile High week 1.
Look, I'm only laughing because our conversation on the air, you said, "Oh, it's just
Oh
the
yeah,
Denver
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Broncos."
yeah, 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 yeah. I got you. I got you. I mean, yeah, that still rings true. I mean, it's just the It's playing the Broncos week 1. I mean, it's like that's another conversation for another day. But back to this Cam Ward situation. I want to protect my investment. Yes, I want to get him reps on the field, but it's just more important for him to get mental reps and get reps in the classroom as well, and him to stay healthy. So, yes, I see what you're saying about the 7 attempts, but your whole season is riding on this number one overall pick. There's a reason why you got the number one overall pick because your quarterback play was bad and Will Levis in previous years. And if something was to happen to Cam Ward via injury, it's like you are starting. He'll be starting all over again next year as a rookie in year two of his supposed quote unquote development. So I thought he did well. With the time he did have. There were some throws that, of course, that should have been caught by some of his receivers. But I think come week one, when he goes into Denver, he'll be sharp and ready to roll, and we know who's on the other side playing defense. That he's going to have a big challenge in front of him. So I thought he did well in his debut with the well, not debut, but on his game with the Falcons last Friday.
Uh, Gunnar Hill was 4 for 48 in a touchdown, a rookie. The other rookie, Alec Aomaner from Stanford, two for 47. Restrepo 2 for 18. Jordan Mims had 12 carries for 50 yards. So like that, I mean, and that was pretty good, 4.2 yards per. That was good from the previous week of the Titans, not really showing too much out of the run game there. On the defensive side of the ball, uh, you had Cedric Gray. That's your boy, ain't it, from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric Gray had 7 total tackles. Um, you had a Carlos Watkins with a half a sack. Cedric Gray also had a half a sack as well. For the Falcons side, I do not. Michael Penix did not play. Did Michael Penix play in the first game?
I believe he did get a one or two drives in the first game. I think I could be wrong. Don't hold me to it though.
And I already feel like what you're gonna say here. Oh, it's
You
no
already know what
big
I'm gonna
deal.
say.
It's no big deal. But in my opinion, you were a eighth overall pick last year, eighth or ninth over. I think it is eighth overall pick last year. I need to see more. And Raheem Moore is floating on thin ice as well. In my opinion, yes, going into his second season, as well as the GM Fontenot. Uh, I need to see more out of this quarterback that you already dubbed in as a starter over Kirk Cousins, and I understand why. But in the preseason, at least, who's to say what's going to happen in the third preseason game? But the second preseason game, I need to see some snaps as well. What did you think about him not getting the at least some kind of snaps in that game as well?
Once again, it's go back to my Cam Ward statement. Yes, you want to see you gotta get some drives, but you don't want him to, you know, I risk anything happening because, like I said, your season is on his left arm, and you don't want anything to happen. But I would like to see him get out there and mix it in with Bijan and the rest of his teammates. But hey, this is the league we're in now, where they're about protecting players, and it ain't like it used to be when we were growing up. Hey, you played a whole half of preseason, whether you're a starter or not, and you set week. Well, they had 4 preseason games. We were coming up. Now it's only 3. But it's just the nature of the beast. Is how it goes, and everybody's gearing up for September 7th. Yes, you want to see him go out there with his teammates, but like I said, they had OTAs, training camp to get acclimated. It's not like they didn't play with each other last year. They played with each other last year, so nothing's really changing. Maybe some new pieces coming in, but the mainstays are the mainstays, and we're moving on to week one.
Easton Stick was 19 and 32 for 173 yards and a touchdown and an interception in that game. Nathan Carter 9 for 63, 7 yards a carry and a touchdown. Chris Blair caught the only touchdown for the Falcons. He was 3 for 78 and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, you had Natron Brooks had an interception. You had Nick Kubitz. He had a sack. And that was it for that game. So going on to the second game that evening, which was the Chiefs at the Seahawks. Seahawks defeated the Chiefs 33-16 with Drew Lock. former quarterback for the Broncos, 10 for 12, 129, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Milroe was 3 for 5 for 46 yards. Sam Darnold, 4 for 4, 34 yards. Um, Damian Martinez was 11 and 50, 4.5 yards per carry with a touchdown. I think he is solidifying a roster spot on his team. He's been running very effectively. What did he have? The first game he was just 6 and 10, but he did answer the call on on his second preseason game, and who Bobo Jake Bobo, who's been having a pretty good all season. He had 2 touchdowns last week, and then who was it? Seth Coleman had a sack and a half. He had another sack from somebody else. For the Chiefs side, Gardner Minshew was 7 of 9, 70 yards and a touchdown. And then Robert Tunyon was 5 of 41. So, what did you get out of this game? Did Sam Darnold, to you, did he look good in this game?
I mean, yeah, Sam Darnold, he looked decent. I expected that from Sam Darnold, come out there be sharp on the opportunities that he did have. But more importantly for me, it was about this offensive line. Gray Zabel had a great game. Um, Being the number 18 overall pick that they had this year in this past draft. And if I wanted to see Jalen Milroe, and after he gets one game of preseason action on his belt, how he will come out in his second preseason game. From what I've seen, he moved the ball well. There still was some errors that he did have, but ultimately he used what his God given ability in his legs to extend the chains and extend drive. So yeah, he just need to keep stacking up. Keep stacking up performances. In this last preseason game, he's going to make the roster as probably backup quarterback. So he just needs to keep getting better, improving. Excuse me, in the classroom, and hold the clipboard and learn how to be a pro behind Sam Donald. And when it's his time, whether that's in special packages or knock on wood, something happened to Sam Donald and he has to get called into action, he'll be ready to roll. I always said this, about Jalen Milroe coming out of Alabama, and most everybody I talked to said the same thing. He was a little raw. He still has some nuances of the game that he has to learn, but that's a lottery ticket right there. If he ultimately puts it all together, and he has the opportunity to put it together, but beside and behind Sam Darnold. So who knows, man? We might have another issue where you know come mid-season, if the Seahawks are underperforming and Sam Donald's not doing what he's supposed to do, we could have an insert of Jalen Milroe and we'll go from there. Maybe a little another Seattle type thing with Matt Flynn and Russell Wilson. You could have a Sam Donald and Jalen Milroe situation on the hand, but I don't think so. Other than that, like you said, Jake Bobo, I think he played well. I'm just really impressed with Gray Zabel. I don't know why this guy, out of all the guys in the first round, he sticks out to me as the most consistent, most solid guy coming out of North Dakota State. So yeah, man, I'm excited for him and Milrow.
And we kind of figured that, like, when we were doing the draft back in April, with Gray Zabel, we think we both kind of called it that was the Seahawks pick, and then he would make an immediate impact, especially on the interior. Seattle hasn't had the best offensive lines over the years.
Hmm.
Um, to your Jalen Milroe, Drew Lock is also there too. So if something was to happen to Darnold, I think they'll go with Drew Lock, being that he has had the experience. Or is there a chance that somebody might take a late round pick and just, hey, even if he's worth that much, hey, we'll throw you this for Drew Lock. And if you're feeling that confident in Jalen Milroe, hey, he may go in as the starter, being that you can see what he can do. I do agree with you what you were saying, just holding the clipboard, learning and everything. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I forgot all about Drew Lock for real, man. Drew Lock, my boy, because ever since he was on the sideline, Denver vibing to Jeezy, he really ain't did much since. So,
Throwing the
and
boards up.
he was throwing them up and they lost that game too. But that's neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, I forgot all about Drew Lock. He is what he is. I don't know if he could be another. Well, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Because the starting quarter, the backup quarterback is just as valuable as the starting quarterback because if your starter go down, you got to have somebody in the building that's been there, done that, and I've been around, and Drew Lock has. So, I forgot all about Drew Lock. So, Milroe, hey, he might be QB3 on the roster come week one. But Drew Lock do Drew Lock things. He go out there, make some plays for you, and then he has some bonehead plays. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's his name of his game. He's bounced around the league. He's been in Denver, of course. He's been in New York, of course. Now he's with Seattle. So I mean, hopefully he can find a home here with Seattle and make the most of his reps and time that he do has until Milroe's ready to roll. Whether it's this year or either next year.
Uh, ready to move on to the next game.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
We got the Browns and the Eagles. The Browns defeated the Eagles 22-13. In that game, Dylan Gabriel was 13 of 18, 143 yards. And he had one interception. He got sacked twice. Snoop Huntley was 10 of 13, 71 yards. Pierre Strong, 13 of 89, 6.8 yards a carry. They had Amani Marshall. He had the rushing touchdown for them. Um, Real quick, your thoughts. First of all, I want to get your thoughts on how Dylan Gabriel played, in your opinion, in that game. And then I know we didn't touch on week one, but then your thoughts on Shador and his performance. Well, I think both of them had pretty solid performances. Shador having the better of the performances. But what was your thoughts on both of those performances?
Yeah, man, I thought both of them combined. I thought both of his performances was very, very good. Yes, there's some rookie mistakes. Dillian Gabriel, he had the one pick six to Andrew McCuba. You just can't throw that ball in between, two of your guys and one DB. They don't know who's going to get the ball, so you just can't make that. You can't make that throw. The DB's going to jump on that every time and take it back. I thought he moved around the pocket well. He's accurate, of course. Little small in stature. But I thought he played well. I think he did enough to where, hey, he's going to probably be QB. Well, that's another whole conversation. He's probably be QB3, depending on what they did. What they do with Pickett. I don't think all four quarterbacks are going to make the roster. Somebody's going to the practice squads. Um, that we'll see. We all know the news came out that Joe Flacco's a starter now, so that's set in stone. And then Shador, he did everything versus Carolina Panthers that I expected him to do, and what he did in college. He didn't, surprised he didn't take no sacks. He was poised in the pocket. He made plays when it was needed to. He ran when it was needed to. When it was needed to. So I mean, hey man, kudos to what he did. He's no stranger to what he's done. Nobody's surprised. I wasn't surprised in what he did in the preseason game, and it's unfortunate that he got quote unquote hurt in the second game to where he couldn't play. We all know what that's about, in my humble opinion. So it's going to be curious. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. Week 4 or 5 if the Browns stumble, and this is something that I had to realize yesterday. Me riding in a row, listening to the radio. Just because somebody gets named the starter from week one doesn't mean they're the starter for the rest of the year. So I was like,
Absolutely.
well, why? I'm like, why are they naming? What are they doing? Naming Joe Flacco the starter. And I'm thinking, okay, Joe Flacco has been in the Super Bowl winner. He's been in the league. He knows the speed of first team defenses. And I think, Shador and Dylan not being able to play versus first team defenses. We all know the speed of the first team defenses are totally different from the speed of the second team and third teams. So you wouldn't want to throw them out there in that fire with those first team defenses because I don't know who they played week one, but you're going to, that defense, that speed is going to be a whole lot faster than what you see in practice every day. It's not like they're not getting to compete against the Browns first team defense. They're not going against Denzel Ward and Miles Garrett during practice. They're going with the two. So, but I will say that I saw somewhere. I think it was Ryan Clark that said on Get Up, and I like his his assessment. Hey, if you knew Joe Flacco was a starter going into week one, um, early on. You should have made it a competition between Dylan and Shador, who's going to be the backup. So then that could be your two, so they can go against your twos and get the use of that speed because something may happen. Something may happen to Flacco and he has to go in. So I think they should have did. Okay, Joe Flacco, you are a starter. Boom, that's that. and then Dylan and Shador, hey, you guys battle out for who's QB2, and whoever loses the job going to be QB3. Because to be fair, putting them against each other is the right thing to do. This could have went about it a little different. And I think Kenny Pickett, yes, he's been hurt. I know he's missed time, but I think he's a non-factor in this thing. I could be wrong. We could see he might get traded somewhere. Who knows? But I think that's my assessment of the Browns quarterback situation of Dylan and Shador's performances in both preseason, and also I like Dylan Sampson as well. I really do like him, and hopefully Quinshawn. I didn't see much of Quinshawn. Maybe you know a little more about it than I do. But like I say,
He's got that situation going on too, so he
yeah. So he's been like out of action, but
and
yeah,
also haven't seen Samson either. Not on this last game.
yeah. I about to say I didn't see him on this last game. Maybe I missed something. I'm not sure, but
To what you were saying, I totally understand everything you're saying about the Flacco situation. Yes, he's got the experience. He's a Super Bowl winner. He just recently took the Browns. It was the Browns to the playoffs a couple years ago. I know he was a late addition. Or I think he might have already been a part of that team, but taking over the quarterback spot and then keep playing well enough to get to the playoffs. I totally understand it. Is that the long term answer? No. Do I see them making a change somewhere? Maybe week 5. I would think so. I don't see. I don't see Flacco playing past week 5. I mean, he's already slow. Yes, does he give you the best chance to win? I guess, but I'm also against with these how some of these analysts always say, you know, you can't throw him into the fire. Well, he's going to have to get thrown into the fire regardless.
right.
So I hate when they say, okay, when you're playing a team like the Panthers, okay, yeah, it's cool if you do that, but if you're playing a team like the Eagles, granted, let's say this is the regular season. If you're playing a team like the Eagles and you got to see Jalen Carter and all these other guys, oh, we don't want to put him in that game. Why not?
Right.
He's gonna have to see it anyway.
Right. I just think.
I mean, I get it, but
I just think, and this is me, my personal opinion. I'd rather know what I have in Dylan and Shador, because 2026 is going to roll around before you know it,
they got 2 first-round picks.
and they got 2 first round picks, and you don't load up on first round picks not unless you have. There's no other position in the draft that you're going to load up extra picks on. You're not going to go get 2 first round picks for an offensive tackle. You're not going to go get 2 first round picks for a wide receiver. You're not going to trade 2 first round picks for a running back. You're not going to trade 2 first round picks for a pass rusher, not unless you're Houston and Will Anderson. You're not going to trade 2 first round picks for a corner. So what other reason are you going to have 2 first round picks for, if that problem that's not solved at the quarterback position is not 2025? Not unless Shador or Dylan becomes a clear cut starter in 2025, and they say, "Hey, I got my answer," and the head coach, he's like, "Okay, Dylan's my guy." Then you can take them 2 first round picks and do whatever else you want to do with your football team. But I'm not sitting on two. If I was the GM of the Browns, Joe Barry, I'm not sitting on 2 first round picks in 2026 and not have an inkling in my head. Okay, which quarterback's going to be here? It's going to be Clay Klubnik, Drew Aller. Is Arch going to be here? Is Lenore's going to be here? Is Sam Levy going to be here? One of these top guys are going to be here when we're picking um, in the first half of the first round in 2026. So that's my only thing. I'd rather for you to see what you have right now in Dylan and Shador, and come up with your answer by week 18, week 15 of this year, so you can have a clear direction of what where you want to go into 2026, if you're still there, the GM and head coach. But that's just my opinion.
You could take those 2 first-round picks and go 2 skill positions.
Could, but that's if your guy is Dylan or Shador.
If your guys is Dylan and Shador. You one more question before we go to the next game. Who do you? I know where Shador is right now, fourth on the depth chart. But in your opinion, who is above who right now between Dylan Gabriel and Shador?
Man, I probably have to go. Man, I probably have to go Shador. Then Dylan. Like I said, Kenny Pickett's gonna be the odd man out. Regardless to me. Now, unless he get traded, or not unless another team comes with the package and say, "Hey, we want to take Shador Dylan off your hands." Until till that happens, I'm gonna have Shador over Dylan. But we're gonna talk about something like this down the road here on our next topic when it get a little more heated in this conversation. So
Uh, Andrew Makuba he had a pick
pick
six.
six. Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about his performance and the Eagles? The Eagles might have found him another gym, right?
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
the,
It's embarrassing.
the rich get richer.
It's really embarrassing, bro. And then they traded for John Mechie. It's embarrassing, bro.
And traded for John Mechie. Week one, Tanner McKee might have just solidified his roster spot. Uh, how if a quarterback goes down in the future, it could be a trade piece. You know how he likes to how he likes to do business. So I mean, hey, you need a quarterback. Hey, we just had a guy that throw for like 258 yards in the preseason, yes, but who knows what you may get out of him, or you could stash him just in case Hurts go down. But then you had Kyle McCord and Dorian Thompson Robinson pretty much battling for like QB3. And let me pull theirs up real quick. You had Kyle McCord was 8 for 16, 47 yards and a touchdown. The week before, he was like 1 of 5. And then Dorian Thompson Robinson was 5 for 8 with 17 yards. He threw an interception. But Jahad Campbell also had a sack. Aziz Ojolari had a sack. There's another sack somewhere as well. So the Eagles team always producing at a high rate. Going to the next game, you got the Dolphins against the Lions, and the Dolphins won that game 24-7. Zach Wilson, 15 and 23, 151 yards and a touchdown. Quinn Ewers, your boy, was 11 for 17, 116 yards with two tutties.
Mm.
Uh, Ollie Gord, 10 carries for 50 yards. He had 5 yards a carry. Uh, Theo Weiss had two touchdowns off 6 for 80, and then D Eskridge 3 for 53 and a touchdown. Your thoughts on Quinn Ewers?
About what I expected. Him to be accurate in the pocket, make some plays. Like I said, he's gonna like I said during the Miami Dolphins episode a month ago. Hey man, something happens to Tua. Guess who you're going to see? Quinn out there playing. If something happens, we're praying that nothing happens to Tua. That he has a clean bill of health for these 17 games. But if something happens, you're going to see Quinn out there, and that's probably not ideal. But that's just what you got to roll with there. Those the options that you do have. And then Ollie Gordon being 6'3", 230, 235. He's
Cold
exactly
weather
what
guy.
he's exactly what Miami needs. He's exactly what Miami needs. If they want to get rid of that finesse label, I'm pretty, South Beach. I'm gonna come in between the tackles. I'm gonna bust you right in your face. He's exactly what they need. And then Tyreek and Jalen, they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. That's nothing new. And the offensive line, they're improving as well. It's a lot of pressure on Miami this year down there, with Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer, and that team. So I mean, yeah, man. Like I said, the only thing that matters to them is the regular season. So the rookies, they perform, they did what they were supposed to do. They'll make the rosters, and with Detroit, Detroit is they're gearing up for the NFC Championship divisional playoffs. That's all that matters to them. You know what I mean? The rookies are going. Isaac Tesla, he's looked good. In the
4
limited
for
snaps that
41 and a touchdown.
yeah, he had a touchdown. So getting him out of Arkansas in the third round, he's looked decent.
This
But
this might be cut across you, but this Jackson Mix guy, 2 touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. So I think he might be undrafted. And
yeah,
So like you spoke on Tesla, I think Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker are pretty much playing for like that QB2 spot.
Yeah,
And
more
you
like it's
know,
more like it's gonna be Hendon Hooker than anything. Cause Kyle Allen, boy, whew,
he's so up and down.
be a high school teacher somewhere. Shit.
One more question about this. So, like, there's been a lot of, you know, talks with Tyreek Hill potentially being traded. Do you think that it happens before the season or at the trade deadline?
It all depends. It's situational. It all depends on where Miami is in their cycle and wins and stuff. If they're fighting for a playoff spot come deadline in the hunt, he's not going anywhere. But if they're out the water, if they're out the water, Tyreek's gone, Mike McDaniel's gone, and Chris Greer's gone before the trade deadline. I can't talk today for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but so yeah, I think he's there until the sink the ship sinks. So now let somebody come with an offer that they can't refuse. Hey, I give you a. I mean, he ain't worth the one no more. I mean, he give you a two and something and whatever. So, but
Chop Robinson also going down. I know that's kind of critical. But I don't know if that was for like season-ending injury or whatnot. But high hopes and prayers up for him. Uh, Green Bay and the Colts 23-19. Green Bay wins. You had Elgersma, Taylor Elgersma.
yeah,
I
that
can't
sounds
remember
about
that
right.
name. He was 7 for 11, 109 yards. Malik Willis was 6 for 14 with 83 yards. Um, you had the former running back from the Jets, Israel
Then
Abanik.
Candace.
They man, right on the spot. There go my boy. There go my boy right there.
I know exactly where you was going.
12 for 43 and a touchdown. The Jets also had two more other touchdowns in the run game. Um, Cornelius Johnson led with 3 for 41 in the pass game. You had a sack on the team. Going on to the Colts side, my boy.
We ain't ready yet. We ain't ready. Go ahead. Just go ahead and go through them.
So Daniel Jones was 7 for 11, 101 yards. Anthony Richardson was 6 for 11, 73 yards. Took a sack. You also had Riley Leonard, 7 for 12, 64 yards. DJ Giddens 6 for 28 in the run game with 4.7 yards per. You also had a Tyler Goodson touchdown. Um, who else did something? Michael Pittman was 2 for 31. Tyler Warren 1 for 25. Uh, there you go. Yeah. So what was your thoughts on this? On the Packers and the Colts game.
I mean, I think everybody plays solid. We're gonna discuss, like I said, we're gonna discuss this a little in depth here in a few seconds. But yeah, man, I think Tyler Warren looks good. He's gonna be a security blanket for Daniel Jones. We know who's a starter now. For the Colts. DJ Giddens going to be an impact. He's going to do his thing. He's going to definitely you're going to see him splitting carries. Well, not splitting carries, but he's going to take the load off Jonathan Taylor this year. And for the Packers, status quo, man. The receiver room is kind of yeah, Flacco too. Oh yeah,
What's up, Mama
receiver.
Gator?
Yeah, receiver room is kind of crowded, so I expect somebody to be moved um here's at before the season. Just look, some I read today. I expect somebody to be moved. But other than that, Jordan Love, he out with the pinky. He'll be regular for the be ready for the regular season, excuse me. Um yeah, man, it's all about Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. That's the takeaway from that game that I have.
Going to we're going to touch on that later.
Hmm.
The Patriots and the Vikings. Travion Henderson seems
That's
to be.
that's that's the story. That's the
Nah.
story.
He man, I know
What
we
are we
took
doing?
I know different took Johnny Bear, but man, this guy is proven week in and we got like man, we should take this dude, man. But He had the kick return the week before. This week he was 4 for 20, averaging 5 yards a carry, one touchdown. Jermichael Hasty was 11 for 47. Joshua Dobbs at 11 for 16, 106 and a touchdown in that game. Drake May was 4 for 7, 46 yards. Uh, what's your thoughts on these Patriots here, man? I think the Patriots could be a sneaky little dark horse here.
We'll find out week one for sure.
That's right. They got y'all.
Yeah, we go to Foxborough week one, so we'll definitely see. Um, yeah, man. Kyle Duggar is on the block now. I don't know if you saw that report. He's actually for a trade now in New England. Yeah, he's available. That happened right before we got on. I seen it. My phone flash. It says
Breaking
they're taking.
news.
Yeah, they're taking calls for him. Um, yeah, man. The Patriots look like they're gonna be a whole. They're gonna be a easy team to look over and a hard team to put away. With Drake May and Travion being a rocket out the backfield. And like I said, Larry, when we did the Patriots episode, if Ramondre Stevens not careful, he's gonna lose his job. He's gonna lose his job for Travion. And
He
I not want to see that. Not want to see that. But the Patriots, they did is do what they do. They're well coached, well sound football team. Mike Vrabel, he had to break up a couple fights in joint practice and got his nose busted up. So
ooh,
they're taking on the mentality of him, of him if they're doing that already. So I'm excited, man. Like, man,
and you know he come from that anyway.
yeah,
So
he that is him. He's Boston through and through. With New England through and through rather. But I'm excited, man. Week one, oh yeah, it's going down week one for sure. So I'm
on the
excited.
Viking on the Viking side, Max Brosmer
Hidden
was
gem.
15 for 27 with 156 on the yards. He had an interception. Brent Ripien was 7 for 11, 83 yards. Sam Howell just 1 for 5 for 13 yards. Um, I'm missing a name here. I'm missing a name here that should be on here, and he was a former ninth overall pick last year. JJ McCarthy. He should be getting snaps in the
Once
preseason.
once again,
Well, here we
whatever
go.
whatever I said for Penix, I'm gonna say for JJ. From
Yeah.
what I've seen from JJ, he's ready to roll. Like I know JJ being a Michigan guy, a Michigan lifer. I know JJ like when he's on the field, he's ready to go. He you JJ's ready to roll. Like
I
you're gonna
understand your point off that
yeah
because you're
yeah
a
yeah
fan.
yeah yeah. I understand. JJ ready to roll. Like you're gonna. I'm not gonna say you're gonna say Sam Darnold who, but you're gonna be like, I understand why you moved on from Sam Darnold. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I ain't
Uh,
guaranteeing no Super Bowl or playoff appearance or nothing like that, but you're gonna understand why they moved off. Only because he wasn't allowed to. He wasn't given the opportunity to throw the ball like that. That you really don't see. You see it once again, like I said, about Penix, Larry. JJ had a whole year to see this thing through on this on the sideline rehabbing. So he got
yeah.
to saw, hey, you know, the ups and downs of Donald. Hey, what not to do. Hey, what do I do in this situation? He's seen it all. So it's like now it's him taking Kevin O'Connor's offense and just retaining all the information that he gathered this year. I mean, last year is being out with being injured, and this year being the guy and putting it all on the field. Nothing's really changed. The offense hasn't changed. Darisaul's back. He wasn't there last year. He tore his ACL. You got Jefferson. You got Hawkinson. You got what's my running back name from Green Bay? I can't think of his name right now.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. You got Ty Chandler back there. Um,
Uh,
Jordan
Jordan.
Addison. He's gonna
Jordan.
be
Jordan. My guy for
Addison.
San
He's gonna be
Francisco.
gone for 3 games. Jalen Naylor's still there. So I mean, like the weapons are still there. That was there last year. You just bring in another quarterback with way. I'm not gonna say way more mobility than Sam Darnold, but JJ can get you out some tight spots with his legs if he needs. So I think people sleep on JJ. only because of the offense that he was running in Michigan, where he wasn't asked to do. And and I know we said this before, and I'm sounding like a broken record when I say this. Just because they don't see you do something, that don't mean that you can't do it. You just weren't asked to do it. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
JJ may be able to throw the ball across the yard like no other, but hey, his last 2 years, like we can go back to 2023, the year before they won that championship. JJ was in a shootout with TCU when they had Quentin Johnston. That game was 45 to 55 or 55 in the college football playoffs. He was throwing it, you know, because it was needed. Because we know how high power that offense was. The year they won the championship, they had running backs. Everybody was back. There was seniority. They knew that identity was to run the ball with my boy. I can't think of my boy name now. He in Tennessee with Cam, but there was more Khalil Mullen. Sorry, I don't know if he's in Tennessee or not, but
Yeah, he
that
is
was
Tennessee.
yeah. So they were actually run the ball. JJ can throw that thing around. I'm not gonna linger on JJ a whole lot. We can move on to the next game, but don't be surprised if JJ's stat line looks something similar to Sam Donald's at the end of the year. Not saying he'll throw for 40 touchdowns though, but we'll have him in the Sam Donald through for.
And one more point before we go to the next game. Uh, when you spoke on what's my guy that got suspended, uh,
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison, him being suspended for the 3 games. Now that's room for another wide receiver to come up and get your opportunities. Whether that's a Tim Jones who led the team with 5 for 68, or Tay Feldon who was drafted in the what third round?
Third round.
Yeah, third round pick. So that's an opportunity for somebody coming up. Going to the next game, you got Carolina and Houston. Houston defeating Carolina 20-3 in that game. CJ Stroud was 6 for 8, 44 yards and a touchdown. You know, just doing CJ things. Davis Mill was 8 for 44, 61 yards. Caden Slovis 5 for 12, 51. Woody Marks 7 for 40, 5.7 per. Gotta start making a name for himself, man. And Joe Mixon out.
Hmm.
Nick Chubb was 5 for 25, animal 5 yards per. And Jaden Higgins was just 1 for 14. Looking for a little bit more. Nico Collins was 2 for 13. Um, yeah. Uh, then you go on to the Panther side. Bryce Young was over 2. Not Jake Plummer, but Jack Plummer. No relation, I don't think. 10 for
Yeah,
14.
I think that's the son. I think.
That's a,
I think so.
I think I
I
read
think.
somewhere. I think I read somewhere long ago because by Jake Plummer playing for Denver. I heard somewhere it was like that wasn't they weren't related or something. I don't know.
Okay. They might not be. I thought there was some
Yeah,
kind of. I might
get
have
get the
heard something.
producer on that, man.
Producer, check it out for me.
um, Trevor Etienne was 7 for 18 in that game. You saw a lot out of Ted McMillan in the first game. None in this game. Bryson Tremaine led the team with 3 for 46 and just one sack out of somebody over there. So not a lot to touch on this game, but I mean, your thoughts on the Texans and possibly the Panthers. I think CJ still looking like CJ.
Yeah, CJ still CJ, man. Like the biggest thing for him, as we said before, the offensive line, man. We suffered the offensive line. You got some new pieces in the building. You lose what's my boy, Laramie Tunsil, as we stated on the Commanders episode with Miss Seawall. How big of an impact he's having over there. I think that's going to be a little bit of a hit. But if it's better for the team, I definitely understand. I just hope Mixon can get back, Chubb can stay healthy because that's a nice. Yeah, they're a little older, but that's not one little nice two punch that have been deep in the playoffs and have won some games. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? That's a nice 1-2 punch. And then you want the Jalen Royals and Jaden Higgins and them to grow up alongside Nico Collins. We know we're not gonna have Tank Dell this year. And the defense is good as advertised. They're probably the top 5 defense in the league with Will Anderson and Derek Stingley back there. So I mean, nothing from the Texans that really surprised me. I expect them to win the AFC South again. As far as Carolina Panthers, man, let's keep feeding Bryce Young, make him the focal point of the offense of the team, and give him some more weapons. Hope Tech can be what we know Tech can be, and we'll see. Xavier Leggett, he need to be 1A, 1B with Tech. You know what I mean? They took you in the first round. It took teams in the first rounds in back-to-back years. So I mean, you guys have to, especially Xavier. You've been in the league for a while, and Jalen Coker is there as well. You have to take a step and show up for Bryce if you want Bryce to continue to be the franchise quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, Leggett was kicked out of that first game due
Throwing
to
bows. He was throwing bows, bro. Let me tell you.
and didn't play in this game. So uh, we'll see in the third and final game coming up here this week. Uh, Also, the business decisions that the Houston Texans are making this year with trading away a Larry Tunsil, trading away it was another, I think somebody to the Eagles for
John
CJ
Mechie.
John Mechie, but it was a offensive lineman as well.
Zion. No, 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 not Zion.
I'm
Kenyon
blanking
Green.
on. Yeah, so I think CJ Gardner Johnson was in that trade as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, And then, with the John Mechie situation, I know he was a free agent coming up this year or after this year, but just the business decisions that these guys are making. Of course we give Philly all the credit, but here comes the Texans making these type of moves. So evidently, they must see something out of these young wide receivers, and then we'll take Dale coming back next year. Who knows how he look? But uh, we'll see. We'll see what's going on with the Texans. The next game. 49ers at the Raiders, and 49ers get the win 22-19. Uh, Mac Jones was 13 of 16, 135 yards and an interception. Brock Purdy, 5 of 7, 66 yards. Not a lot out of the run game, but yeah, Robbie Chosen. What was his name before? I'm blanking on his name.
Robert Anderson.
Robbie Anderson was 5 for 92. Demarcus Robinson was 3 for 44. Ricky Pearsall 3 for 42. Um, and then like defensively, I think they had like 4 sacks defensively. Nick Martin got a sack. I think I'm expecting big things out of him this year as a rookie. Uh, Chase Lucas, he had a sack, and I seen him for like a couple series last week against Denver. He's going to be something solid. Uh, Going to the other side of the ball, you got Aiden O'Connell, 15 to 23, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. Cam Miller, 2 for 6, 25 yards. Geno Smith, 6 for 8, 55 yards. Ashton Genty, this was his breakout. It was preseason, but this was a breakout, bowling over folks and everything. 7 for 33, touchdown, 4.7 per. How did you like the performance of the sixth overall pick? And it's the Ashton Genty. I know he didn't get a lot of production last week, but this week he showed himself.
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It was cool. Like I didn't have anything. I didn't expect. I expected this. I mean, like some people, they pooped on him week one. Like, oh man, you're not playing against Boise State anymore. You're not playing against these Mountain West teams. You are there 5 carries for -1 yard. And I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, yeah, we get it. Yeah, he had a bad game. It happens, like it's fine. It happens, like
I was the first one.
yeah, it happens, but like I told a couple of my people that I spoke to after the game, after the Seattle game, I was like, listen, y'all got to play the 49ers. I know we got joint practices for the 49 with the 49ers. 49ers are a physical team. Whether they playing in Santa Clara or whether they playing in Germany somewhere. So that week of practice, you have to raise the level of physicality, and luckily we played them in joint practices all week. Um, and Jency got a couple runs off at practice, but me, I'm not gonna get too high. I'm not gonna get too low. I thought he did what I expected him to do. Like I said, you just we just took the Ferrari for a test drive on Saturday. You're really not going to see if you know Chip Kelly. he has shifts and motions in his offense. You didn't see none of that on Saturday. You didn't see none of this. Everything's like super duper vanilla. So I thought he did well. Um, it's a couple of hits that I was like, okay, all right, young fella, slow down. Like, what we doing then? Like, this the preseason. This ain't week one versus New England. You ain't gotta take these shots. But of course, he ran over the guy that everybody's like screaming and showing, and I'm like, okay, that's what he do. But Gino, Gino is Gino. I think he looked comfortable in the pocket. Brock Bowers, he gonna do what he do. Trey Tucker was solid. Yes, it is just ridiculous. Trey Tucker was solid. Dante Thornton had a couple touchdowns that Gino overthrew him. I think it was one streak that Dante Thornton had down in the right sideline. If he had just kept running and digging and getting separation from the receiver, he would have caught it and scored. But he was looking at the ball in the air, and it slowed him down a little bit. So he didn't get to the ball before the ball can get there. He was slowed up a little bit. But he's surprising. And I'm gonna say this later. The reason why he's on the field so early is not because of his speed and his height. He's an excellent run blocker. He's a great run blocker, and I was surprised on Saturday when I seen him block the way he did, at the line of scrimmage and down the field. So that's a good sign for your running game if your receivers are blocking down the field. The offensive line looked a lot better. I think our starting five is going to be, Miller, Parm, Meredith, JPJ, and DJ Glaze. There's still some debate whether JPJ is going to play center or guard between him and Meredith. Um, Defensive line look kind of look good, look decent with Thomas Booker coming over from Philly, Max Crosby being Max Crosby, and Tyree Wilson. I talked about him. He's one of my players to watch. He's arrived. He's arrived. He's figured out he has to stop thinking and just go get the quarterback. He's arrived. I'm not saying he's going to be the second coming of Max Crosby or anything like that. But Larry, I'm gonna send you a clip after this show. I'm gonna send you a couple packages of where if he's just playing a three technique and he's not thinking, he blew Brock Purdy up a couple times. Like he pushed his offensive lineman back into Brock Purdy's lap. So he's arrived. The secondary, I'm still a little concerned about. With the rookie Darian Porter, Eric Stokes, and our nickelback situation is not settled in stone yet. And then you got Jeremy Chan being a strong safety. He's gonna play close in the box. He looks decent. And Isaiah Palomar, he's gonna be our free safety, 6'4". He's gonna be decent as well. So if I had to say one, Jamal Adams, this conversion from safety to linebacker has been nothing but wonders. Jermaine Pratt as well, coming over from New England. I mean, not New England, but Cincinnati. He's surprising. This defense doesn't have a whole lot of names. The secondary might be the weakest spot on this defense, but this defense is going to play hard. Um, and I will say this: there's rumors floating out here that, and I don't really think this is it's going to happen, but I can see it happening. Trey Hendrickson is on the radar. They're looking for a young player and a pick back in return. He's on the radar for sure. I don't know how true that is. I've seen multiple outlets say that. I don't know what the price is going to cost, but I do know for a fact. I'm telling you this, Larry, right now, that from the guys that do report for the Raiders that I know that has inside information that they share, that he is potentially on the radar for a trade. I don't know how likely that is. That could be just smoke. I'm not sure, but he don't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he dealt with a player in the pick coming up here in the next couple of weeks before the beginning of the regular season. That's just out there. It's in Twitterverse. Twitterverse can be fool's gold sometimes. We all know that. But it's out there in multiple outlets that, hey, the Raiders are one of the teams checking in on Trey Hendrickson out there. Far as the 49ers, far as the 49ers go, um, yeah, I mean, Brock looked like Brock. Ayuk, he's not there. Kittle didn't play, so we didn't see much from the 49ers. But like you said, they did have players make some plays for them on defense. And then Robbie Chosen Anderson. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, but he said you had 5 for 92. 30 of your yards came on one play in the fourth quarter to go win the game. Ultimately, they won. Jake Moody made like 3 field goals. Ultimately, they won 22-19. But a lot of encouragement from my side of the ball. Me being a Raider fan, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a tough out each week. I'm not saying that we're going to beat Chiefs twice. I'm not saying we're gonna beat the Broncos twice. I'm not. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm saying we're gonna be. We're gonna beat the Chargers twice. I'm not saying that. But I can definitely see us scraping 10 wins. And I don't know you looking funny like that after I said
I'm,
something about the Trey Henderson thing, but I'm gonna let you chime in and get your comments on how your feelings
I'm,
about it
I'm,
right now.
I'm, I'm looking funny because a couple months ago, or I want to say a month ago, either way, it was a long time ago. But I mentioned something about, I don't know if you shared something, and I said something about Trey Hendrickson going to y'all. I think it was around the time that Jermaine Pratt got signed to the Raiders.
Yeah, I think one of us had said something. I think you had said something.
And I said something, and you was like, "Why would he go there if we're paying max?"
Yeah, I did say that. I did say that. It doesn't make any sense to me at the time, but because we didn't know. You know why I said that? Because I didn't know what the asking price was for Trey Henderson at the time. Because right then, we automatically said, "Hey, you want a first and a whatever to go get him." But now I'm reading that's not the price. They want a player in a pick. I don't know if they want a young player in a pick. And I don't know if that's the first round pick or whatever the case may be. I don't know. So that's like I said, it doesn't make any sense for me. But as I strongly believe in, you strengthen your strength, and if strength your pass rush your strength, you strengthen that because you can cover up holes on the other side of the defense. But but yes, I will say that's floating out here in Twitterverse. Like I said, I'm not going to read too much into it because it's Twitter. Somebody can, beat reporters. They report things and they know about it. They know more about teams than we do because they're actually in the building every day, talking to these coaches, these personnel people, these GMs, and talking around the league. So they know more than I do. It's just something that's being floating out there, and I'm gonna definitely keep my eye to it. And if something does happen, I'm going to be the first to get on this pod. We're going to have an emergency pod and talk about it. But yeah, man, that's just my thoughts of the Raiders and 49ers game. I know I went a little too long because that's my team, but I really want to give the viewers an in-depth analysis of what I saw from my perspective and some of my strengths and weaknesses for the team and how we can improve the team and what I'm expecting going into week one, September 7th.
I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't get your hopes up. 3-14. Next game, we're going to the Rams. We're going to the Rams. Rams defeated the Chargers 23-22. Uh, in that game, Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett is the only quarterback playing for the Rams. Like, you don't know, they don't know what else they have other than Stetson Bennett. I mean, they got Jimmy Garoppolo, but I guess at this point in his career, he don't have to play.
Yeah, you're going to have to play.
Hey, Matt Stafford, they don't tell him what time they don't tell him when he's coming back.
Yeah, man, and it's weird, man. Like they're playing. It's kind of funny, man. Like how things, I ain't trying to get all crazy here, but it's kind of funny how things come full circle. Like at Devontae in the receiver documentary when he was with the Raiders, he was like, "Man, I ain't trying to get killed out here because he was playing with Jimmy G." Lo and behold, guess who's going to be a starting quarterback if Matthew Stafford can't play come week one? Okay, medicine ball, man. So, but yeah, man, it's kind of weird with this Matt Stafford back situation. It's risky, man. You just don't know, what you got. Is he gonna be week to week? Do you want to really rely on Jimmy Garoppolo to get you to 10 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins? Because you got Puka, you got Devontae, you got Kyron Williams on a brand new contract, you got Terrence Ferguson out of Oregon. Your offense is loaded. Defense, you know what your defense is, man. It's just, yeah, man. Stetson Bennett played a good game. He's a preseason warrior. It didn't come to the regular season. You don't hear nothing from him because Stafford's there. So, um, yeah, man. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Stafford and Ram situation.
My thing is, if Stafford is like this now, and you got 17 games to play in this season coming up. So there's literally no chance that he's gonna be playing all 17 games. And
Right.
that's not gonna be a chance that he's probably gonna be ready for week one. So my thing is this. Okay, yes, you have Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, he has the experience. He's got a team to the Super Bowl, to an NFC championship game and things like that. Who's to say? I know you said that Stetson Bennett. I know he's been a preseason warrior. And I'm gonna run through his stats real quick. I know they don't mean anything, but 16 of 24, 188, it's 2 touchdowns and an interception against Dallas. And then last week against the Chargers, 28 of 40, 324, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Who's to say? And I was watching the film on him, and he looks pretty good. And granted, it's still preseason, but who's to say that McVay won't throw Stetson Bennett out there, and Stetson Bennett can at least get you enough wins till Stafford comes back?
He can get you 2 games, but he can hold you over 2 games. That's about it, bro. Like it's the reason why that he's not on practice squads and stuff like that. He can get you. He can start you 2 games if in a jiff if needed to be. But yeah, I'm not relying on Stetson Bennett to go out there and something happen. I'm not gonna look on the side and go, what Stetson Bennett, you up? Nah, I can't, bro. I can't. Give me Jimmy G. Much as I hate that MF for what. Just give me Jimmy G, bro. He's at least he's been there, done that. Took a team to an NFC Championship, Super Bowl, came close to winning the Super Bowl. He's been there, done that. Not to say that Stetson can't do it. It's just nah, bro. Give me Jimmy G.
Jarquez Hunter.
I like
Well,
him.
yeah, I like him too. I think we talked about him in the 32 and 32. 15 carries from 55 yards. There, I can't talk. 15 carries from 55 yards. You also had Cody Schrader, who was 13 of 48. Brendan Presley led the team with 6 catches, 102 yards. Uh, True Edwards had a touchdown. There was a Mario Williams had a touchdown. And you go to the defensive side of the ball. Brendan Jackson had 2 sacks. And you go to the Chargers side of the ball. Amari Hampton 2 for 12. I'm not liking this. Out of the Chargers, the first round pick, you would expect a first round pick to be playing more. He didn't even play. I don't even think he played in the first preseason game, in the Hall of Fame game. Because
Yeah,
they
he
probably
did. He
he
did.
he
Yeah, he
did.
had. Yeah, he had a couple carries.
Okay. So he was 2 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
The second preseason game, and he didn't play.
Right.
And in the third game, just 2 for 12.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, man. It's
You
still
you
early.
it's a little okay.
It's
It's a
still
little
early,
early.
man. No, no, no,
Uh,
no, 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 no. We're gonna bash him. We're gonna bash him. Cause y'all killed my boy when he put -1 and y'all thought it was the end of the world. You know what I'm saying?
well,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all tried to kill my man.
well. I killed Hampton when we was off camera.
You
I, you
did.
know,
No, no, do it on camera. Do it for everybody to
yeah,
see. Kill him.
I just think it's outrageous that he only has 4 carries in the preseason, and he's a first overall, and not the first overall pick, but he's your first round pick. He only got 4 carries in the preseason. I'm sorry, that's a problem with that.
Mm-mm. I need, I
And,
need,
and, and,
I
and,
need, I
and,
need, I need you to go in a little more because
and,
you, because the way you killed Genty and you blew my personal cell phone up about it. I
and,
need that ain't good enough. I'm not accepting that from you. Go
and,
crazy.
then with the other running back acquisition that you got with Najee Harris, I mean, what happened to him over the fourth? Was it 4th of July or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Some guy did fireworks in his face. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now he hasn't even taken a snap in the preseason. How do you know what you got in the run game? I just don't like the fact that this is the whatever pick that he was in the first round. I think it was like 20 something because I
Twenty
think they
second,
picked 20 what?
22.
22. Pick 22. That was 2 picks after Denver. And we were sitting here subjected to get this guy. And I'm glad we did 2 carries. I know it's preseason. I'm not trying to bash this dude, but
Mm-mm.
bro,
Bash him.
I
Yeah.
mean, your guy had negative yards though.
Yeah, but nah, but I want you to have that energy though. At least my guy came out and played more than some 2 snaps per game. No, but that's okay though. Keep going. We can go on to the next game. If you don't wanna bash him, if you don't want to bash Amari on him, you ain't got to. I just know the hate real for sure. You ain't gotta bash him. It's fine. They looked at this. No, 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 no. Don't bash him because the stats and numbers are on paper for sure. So it's cool.
I just read him. I
Okay,
just
all
read
right,
him.
okay, nah. But your guy had -1 yards though. Like you was, but nah, you ain't called my personal phone. Some hey, Ginger -1 yard, run up high. No, you ain't do that for you ain't do none of that for Marion. But as soon as somebody in the silver and black do it, you all up in my phone, all up in my phone, and it's a divisional rival. But you don't say nothing about a Marion. All right, bro. Next game, because I already know where it's going. I already know where it's going, boy. October 7th can't get here fast enough. Boy, that's way.
Uh, but before we go to the next game, Justin Herbert was 2 for 5, 46 yards. At least he threw 5 and 10.
Bash him too. We need to
Threw
see
five,
more. We need to see
threw
more.
five
No,
attempts in the
no,
preseason
sir.
game.
No,
I mean,
sir.
I think where we
Mm-mm.
at with Justin Herbert, I think that's okay. 2 for 5.
Nope.
Hey.
Nope. You get mad at them for not playing Penix and Cam Ward. They ain't won nothing, just like Herbert ain't won nothing. Go ahead and bash them. Go ahead and bash them. 2 for 5. And you don't got a $250 million contract. You want 2 for 5 in the preseason? I need that energy, Larry. I need to keep that energy for everybody. Don't have it for the rookies out here because they trying to get ready for the regular season. You got a whole veteran that'll be here 5 years, 5 preseason, and you out here doing 2 for 5. Bash them. Go ahead and bash them. Be fair. Be fair.
I mean, he got experience though.
Okay. All right. You got experience. Okay.
But
Okay.
playoff experience not so much. But
So go ahead and play him. He all the reps he can get. Play off a preseason. Don't. Nah, I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
Trey Lance was 7 for 15, 121 yards. I think he's making the case for maybe QB2.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds you of that Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? Just Justin
Here,
Herbert.
here we go. Here
Justin
we go.
Herbert. Justin Herbert better be safe out there.
Here we go. $250 million. You gonna be safe.
Yeah.
You gonna be safe for 250, 275, or whatever you sign for.
I think that's pretty much it for that game. Ravens and Cowboys. Ravens defeated the Cowboys 31-13. And they get Cooper Rush was 20 of 30, 198 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. You had Rasheem Ali was 19 of 62. Uh, what did you see out of the Ravens in this game? They had a hell of a lot of sacks with 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks, I believe. So what did you see out of the Ravens in this game?
Um, Mike Green.
Mike Green, I think Mike Green will be special.
Oh God, bro. He's gonna be super duper special. Um, yeah, man. LaJohntay Wester, I believe he's gonna. I think he's supposed he's gonna make the roster. Um, yeah, man. I expect the Ravens to, like I said, nothing with these teams that's in the Super Bowl windows and stuff like that. I don't expect nothing from them out of preseason. I just want them to find glue guys and depth guys to get through the week and get ready for Buffalo week 1. I think they play Buffalo week 1 on Sunday night.
Yeah, they played Buffalo week 1 Saturday. Amon went out for a second there. Uh, Joe Milton did not have a pretty good game. He was 9 of 18, 122 yards through an interception. So a lot of thoughts changed on Joe Milton, which it was a lot of positive thoughts about him coming over to Dallas. There you go. There was a lot of positive thoughts for Joe Milton coming over to Dallas. But can you hear me?
Can you see me though? My thing a little
Yeah,
messed
I can
up.
see you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was just talking about Joe Milton. He was 9 of 18, 122 yards. I know a lot of talk about him, a lot of high hopes coming over. I know Dak is starting quarterback right now, but not having the best preseason from Joe Milton. I see a lot of those thoughts have changed a little bit. Jonathan Mingo was 1 for 49. Not well, you had a lot out of the defense. You had 2 interceptions from Andrew Booth and Kamon Hall, but uh, I think that's pretty much it on that one. Not too much, not to give the Cowboys too much time because they already get enough time on national airwaves. Uh, ready going to the next game. The Buccaneers defeat the Steelers 17-14 with Connor Blazak. He was 14 of 18, 106 yards. Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy two gloves, 6 for 11, 85 yards and two touchdowns, fresh off of high school championship. Um, Other than that, like Sterling Shepard was 3 for 47. They had 4 sacks. So Peebles, Braswell, Jackson, and Bullock had sacks. Kendall Vildo had an interception. You go to the other side with Pittsburgh. Uh, Skylar Thompson, 10 for 15, 113 yards and an interception. Each quarterback threw interceptions. Three
Mm.
quarterbacks threw 3 interceptions. Logan Woodside, Mason Rudolph, and Skylar Thompson. I like what I saw out of Kelton Johnson, which Caleb Johnson, my bad. 11 for 50, 4.5 yards per carry. And then Roman Wilson was 2 for 72. That's pretty much it. Derek Harmon got his first sack.
First round
Um,
pick.
yeah. So, any thoughts on that game, real quick?
Nah, no thoughts on the game, man. I just like to see the rookies do that thing. Like you said, I didn't know Derek Harmon had a sack. Um, I know as Pittsburgh is trying to get something done with Casey Hayward now. Cam Hayward, sorry.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's
far as
37 years old.
Yeah, trying to get. He made the All Pro last year. He's trying to get some money adjusted. They know the end of the rope is near. That's why they drafted Derek Harmon. So I mean, yeah, I get it, bro. But like I said, most of these Super Bowl window teams. I'm not saying that they're a Super Bowl window team, but they're getting ready for the regular season. See what kind of depth they do have on their roster.
The next game, the Giants.
Ooh, yeah.
Giants defeated the Jets 31-12. Jackson Dart was 14 and 16, 137 yards and a touchdown. Jameis Winston was 6 for 11, 110 yards. Russell Wilson, 644 for 7, 108 yards. He threw an interception, and then Tommy DeVito 3 for 452. He threw an interception. Russell Wilson also had like a 60-yard boom bomb.
Yeah,
To,
you used to see him.
yeah, no, it was 80 yards, but yeah, it was nice. Yeah. But
A little reminiscent right there, a little nostalgia.
Abdul Carter did not look good. With that one play, getting bumped twice, and then
It's gonna happen, bro. Like people,
oh
it's
yeah, oh
gonna
yeah,
happen. It's gonna
oh yeah,
happen.
oh yeah. We got to touch on it though.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it, but it gonna happen. They did get him. That's just welcome to the NFL moment right there. They got him. They got him.
Yeah.
They got him good.
uh,
It won't happen
uh,
again though. Won't happen no more.
what's your thoughts on the quarterback room with Dart and Wilson? Who should start? And yeah,
Wilson should start.
so the same situation going on with Cleveland, basically.
Right, but no, it's a different situation. It's different. The Giants know who their future is. The Browns don't. The Browns don't know who their future is. You should start Wilson. Let Dart be your two. Let James be your three, or either let Dart be your three, let James be the two. It don't really matter. But the difference between the Browns and the Giants have a plan for Dart, regardless. The Browns will have a plan for Shador Gabriel. You know, they don't they don't even know which quarterback's gonna be active and inactive on game day. You know what I mean? We know we trying to slow play this thing out with Dart. Coast him along. Russell knows he's not the long term answer. So does Flacco. But we know that the long term answer is in New York, in the building right now, learning behind Russell and Jameis. You know what I'm saying? And they're slow rolling it. But I don't if that enough to keep Dabo and Shane's job. I don't know. Um, like I say, if Russ plays good, he's not coming off the field. But if Russ started to crumble, you gotta throw the kid in there and see what he got because he's made some plays in the preseason. He's a little mixture of. He has a little. He has a. I'm not saying this, so don't look at me stupid when I say this. Look at me crazy. Dart has a little bit of Jalen Hurts in his game. He has a little bit of Jalen Hurts in his game, in my opinion. Can move around, don't have the biggest arm, but he can put the ball in, and he can put the ball where it needs to go.
He does.
Yeah, he that one touchdown pass he had in the sideline too. I don't know who the receiver was, but he couldn't throw that any perfect.
He put it right there.
Right there where it needed to be. So think about it, man. Let's say the Giants they let's say for example they hit on Carter and Dart, right? That's two positions that you don't have to worry about for the next 10 years that you hit on. The two highest paid positions, premium pass rusher and your quarterback. There you're good. So then you got Malik Neighbors, Slayton, he's still there. No, is it Slayton? Yeah, he's still there as a
Mhm.
piece. So yeah, man, I think the Giants are going to be a better than people say. The Giants are going to be better than people think they are. The defense was going to keep the games with Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, um, Abdul Carter. So they're going to be a lot better than people think they are. But it's like I said, it's all about Jackson Dart and getting him off on the right start.
Going to the Giants side, I mean to the Jets side, Adrian Martinez, 12 of 21, 114 yards, threw an interception. Justin Fields, just 1 for 5, 4 yards, and who was it? Brady Cook was 6 for 11, 74 yards. Braylon Allen, the second year running back out of Wisconsin, was 7 for 34, 4.9 yards per carry. Uh, you had a Quentin Skinner, 4 for 48, and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, on
Yeah,
the defensive side of the ball, they had 2 sacks, they had an interception. Uh, the Jets quarterback situation, uh, I could definitely see them going to the top 10 for a quarterback next year. Somebody's going there. A quarterback's going to the Jets next year. I just don't have faith in Justin Fields. Uh, you got anything to add on that?
yeah, man. I think I'm with you, brother.
I
Justin
just don't
Field was
see.
one of those guys I just couldn't quit, but I'm not gonna say that. Think about it, and what you're saying it do make sense because he only signed a 2-year deal. So they after this year they can really get out if they want to, or keep him. Then draft a quarterback's getting drafted there next year. We just
Yeah.
don't know who. What I mean, so I agree with you there.
Uh, the Broncos defeated the
Oh,
Broncos defeated the Cardinals 27-7. Jarrett Stidham out here playing like Tom Brady out here, man. Minus the Super Bowls. 16. Actually, Jarrett Stidham might be a Super Bowl winner, right? He done won a couple Super Bowls out there. Popular. Let me go. Producer, look that up.
yeah, we can look that up, producer.
Jarrett Stidham, 16 for 23, 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sam Ellinger, 14 for 16, 162 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin led all rushers with 3 for 48. Blake Watson was 10 for 34. In the pass game, Pat Bryant, third round pick, 4 for 70. Troy Franklin, I think he's going to be on the up. We got our speedster, baby. You Raider fans take notes because he's gonna light y'all up this year. 4 for 67, 2 touchdowns. four, for, 4 for 67, 2 touchdowns. He gonna light y'all up this year.
October 7th. Come on here, baby.
Look, I'm sitting there doing a lot of talking now.
And talking crazy. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk about your mom. I'm gonna let you go ahead. You do your thing, champ. I'm listening.
Evan Ingram, the new tight end, was 1 for 58. He had a nice, beautiful pass. Um, After that, you go into the defense. Jordan Turner had a sack and a half, and that was about it. You know, Lavelle Bailey led the team with five tackles, five total tackles. Go over to the Arizona Cardinals side. Uh, Jacoby Brissett was 6 for 8, 57 yards and a touchdown. Clayton Tune, listen to this, 13 and 20, 56 yards. Nothing in the run game to even talk about, but Simi Fehoko caught the only touchdown for the Cardinals. He was 2 for 21 and a touchdown. That was pretty much it for the Cardinals. Anything you got to add to that?
No, man, ain't nothing I got to add to it, man. I just want, and I know a whole lot of people. And our boy Rob, he was one of the ones that I first heard say somebody that's high on the Cardinals. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's something about Khaled that's not sitting right with me. Um, I just don't see it, man. I could be wrong though, but I just don't see it with Arizona. Everybody said they're playoff contenders, which I will agree with Rob. They could be a playoff contender because if you think about this, the NFC West, right? Is there one team that you can definitively say, "Oh, this team is better than that team in the division"?
I think if Matt Stafford was at full health, I think we'll be looking
Take
at
him
the
out. Take
Ravens.
him out the equation.
Right. No, not really. Because there's
So
so many
it,
questions with San Francisco, Seattle, the uncertainty was there with them, and then with Arizona, we don't know what we're getting out of them either.
yeah, man. So any one of these, if you tell me I'm on reaching a hat, but you close your eyes, pick a piece of paper, that's your NFC West division. I wouldn't either any team I get, I wouldn't be surprised. You can tell me Arizona win, okay, but I don't see Arizona on that level. I could be wrong. I hope Rob can get on here one day and prove me wrong and tell me why, or he can be like, "Hey, I told you so" at the end of the season. But I just don't see it, with the Cardinals right now. But nothing from that game. Um, Besides, RJ Harvey, you're right, he's as good as advertised in the backfield. He's legit. Nothing to be worried about come regular season though. But he legit. I mean, he's a legit running back. Yeah, you took him 50 picks than what you should have. But hey, who's counting? I mean, once you got him in the building, he's in the building. What can you do? Could
Yeah.
have got him in the second round, but you could have got him in the fourth round, but you took him in the second round. Okay, it happens. We took Jamarcus Russell first overall, could have got him in the third round. It happens. It is what it is. But
Who knows what you're gonna get out of these draft picks? And, you might take them way ahead of what they should have been. You might and somebody might take them too late for what they should have been. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
you don't know, bro. But yeah,
Yes.
man. On a serious tip, yeah, RJ Harvey, he did look good. I like your backup quarterback situation with Stidham. So if something happens to old man Nix, I think Jarrett Stidham can hold the fort down for a couple games if needed to be. And even Sam Ellinger, he looked, he's not, he was a backup in Indianapolis for a while. Then he's over here in Denver now doing his thing. I mean, he looked decent as well. But yeah, nothing too crazy from the Broncos that I didn't expect from them. Yeah, man.
Going to the Jaguars and the Saints, they had a tie 17-17. Nick Mullins was 14 to 17, 112 yards. Trevor Lawrence 8 of 12, 76 yards and a touchdown. Bashir Tootin still continuing to prove why he might be the load carrier on that offense. He 10 for 35, 3.5 yards to carry and a touchdown. Travis Etienne was 3 for 24. Tank Bigsby just 2 for 6, and that's why I said because there's so much inconsistency there. uh what was it? Pat Parker Washington had the only touchdown for the only receiving touchdown for the Jaguars. You go to the defensive side of the ball, they had 2 sacks and an interception. Going to the Saints side of the ball, Spencer Rattler, 18 and 24, a buck 99 on the yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then Tyler Shuck, 9 and 12, 66 yards, was sacked twice. In your opinion, who, in your mastermind opinion, who should be the starting quarterback for the Saints come week one?
Rattler, Rattler. It's gonna be Rattler. It's gonna be Rattler. It's gonna be Rattler. We're
Yeah,
gonna leave it at that. It's gonna be Rattler.
yeah. Not a lot of time to waste on that. It's gonna be Rattler
No.
straight up.
No,
Uh,
I will say about Jacksonville though. Trevor Lawrence look a lot faster. He's processing a lot faster. He's getting into his reads a lot faster. He's making decisions, so that's a good thing for if you're a Jacksonville fan. Um, scary thing is you just see no Travis Hunter Saturday. I mean Sunday when they played. You didn't see that. He didn't play because he was hurt. Something upper body. They didn't really say what the injury was. It's upper body,
upper
and
body.
it's just that's a little. I don't know. I don't want to say that's a little alarming this early, but yeah, it's something to keep your eye on for sure. Going, playing both sides of the ball, but no, man, it's all about Trevor Lawrence in 2025, 2026 until they say, you know what, I'm done with him. So I know we got one more game left before we get into this little small discussion about just certain quarterbacks. We might get to fighting over. We might have to get to fighting over this stuff. So, but
Uh, yeah, one more tip before we get off of this game. Mason Tipton was 6 for 100 yards. Dante Pettis was 4 for 57 and a touchdown. And then you go to the defense side of the ball. Jonas Sanker from UVA had an interception. Just wanted to point that out.
I, I thought he was gonna crib that Joe for real. It was like no time on the clock left. I thought he was going to the crib, but they tackled him out of bounds.
Uh, Two more games.
Two more? Yeah. Chicago
Bills,
and
Bears.
yeah.
A 38-0 shutout for the Bears. Caleb Williams looked. Caleb Williams look like he got something. Like he got something at the quarterback.
Hey man,
And
what's
then
up, man?
6 for 10, 107 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Bajan was 13 and 22 and 196 and a touchdown.
Just
Uh,
off, and congratulations to Tyler Bajan. You just signed a new 2-year deal for $16 million a day. That's the highest. You're expensive backup in the league, young fella. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, how did Caleb Williams look to you, especially in that first drive?
He was okay. He was decent. I think he looks more comfortable in the offense. He made some plays. Just imagine what
Like
he's gonna look like when he has full way of weapons. So with Luther, DJ Moore, Rome, Komet Loveland looks Loveland, Colston Loveland. That's my guy, of course. He looks great. I just just defense is this defense. Oh, got a trade. Oh, this is nothing small. It's something small. But the defense. Can we find another pass rusher opposite of Montez Sweat? Jalen Johnson's gonna be good as advertised. So yeah, I think it's all about Caleb. Ben Johnson, he's going to do what he do, and hopefully he can replicate some of that success that he had in Detroit here in Chicago. And if not, the Browns fans will definitely tell you about it for sure. They will definitely let you know. With letters at your doorstep on the radio at the game, they're definitely gonna let you know. So we'll see.
Andrew Billings and former fifth round pick from last year, Austin Booker, had sacks.
Yes, he did.
Sure. So maybe Austin Booker can add to that to the pass rush that's much needed over there. Going to the Bill side, nothing really too much to sneak at, but Frank Gore Jr. had 8 for 51. Um, so yeah, let's go to the next game. Well, you got the Bengals defeating the Commanders 31-17. Did Joe Burrow, who was 9 of 14, 62 yards and a touchdown. Do you think Joe Burrow played entirely too much on in the second preseason game?
He didn't at all. He didn't. If Cam Ward and Michael Penix ain't played enough, Joe Burrow played just right, just enough. He needs the reps. You know what I'm saying? Plus, the offensive line got. I'm gonna tell you something. I know I'm being joking when I say he needs reps, whatever. But this offensive line, bro, and we know the Commanders' pass rush ain't nothing. They ain't got nothing. Boy, the way they was looking against that first team offensive line, boy, it could be a long year for Cincinnati. It's gonna be a long one. Yes, you got the Ferraris outside, and you got your play toys, and for Joe Burrow and everything. And yeah, man, you can't keep them up right. There ain't no point. You know what I
They,
mean? And then the defense getting carved through like butter the first drive without Trey Henderson. That made you want to say, "Oh, maybe I need to pay this guy." Maybe. But yeah, I think he played just enough. You don't need to see a whole lot because we know what Joe Burrow is when he's on. He's a MVP candidate. It's just the defense and offensive line concern me a little bit, man. So we'll see. But that's my bid on the Bengals.
Uh, yeah, they kind of remind me of this shiny Ferrari sitting outside, but the engine work is just.
It's like that meme with the Ferrari sitting at the house, but the house is like old and run down with in the carport. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So other than that, yeah, they had a couple of interceptions, but Charlie Jones had a touchdown from, I believe that was from Joe Burrow, and
Mm-hmm.
then we had Mitchell Tinsley caught two touchdown passes. So, uh,
2 touchdown
oh
passes.
yeah, five for
Man, they can
73.
find some receivers, bro.
They
They got
can,
Chase, Higgins, Yoshi Voss, Charlie Jones, Tinsley, and my man Jermaine Burton. It's gonna be 6 wide receivers in that room, bro. They not
yeah,
cutting Tinsley.
yeah.
God,
Burton got to have a big step up. Yeah, there's two.
yeah,
Considering it was in front of him.
yeah,
But then Taj Brooks, I think he was a seventh round pick, right? From
yeah. From
Texas
Texas
Tech.
Tech. Mm-hmm.
He was 11 for 47, 4.3 yards per. So, uh, little production there. Going to the Commander side, Josh Johnson was 6 for 9, 56 yards. Both quarterbacks threw an interception, and Sam Hartman as well, 4 for 10, 29 yards. Chris Rodriguez, 6 for 62. And then Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt was 11 for 46. And
That's
he
why Brian Robinson's on the block right now.
exactly. And then going to the receiver, Jalen Lane. That's the rookie that was in the third round, right?
I didn't know he went to Virginia Tech. I did not know that.
Yeah, he was 3 for 42. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball. They only had one sack. So, uh, did you need to see uh, Jaden Daniels in this game?
No, I didn't need to see him. If I got the same energy for Cam and Penix, I got the same energy for Jaden Daniels as well. I don't need to see him, bro. But yeah, man, they definitely it looked like they didn't skip a beat, man. When Depot had that jet sweep on that first play or whatever play it was. I was like, oh yeah, and they moved down the field with no problem. Yes, it is the Bengals defense, but I'm like, oh yeah, Jaden clicking. And when everything that Miss Seawall was saying, shout out to Miss Seawall, on our pod, you can definitely see it translate to the field. So I expect Jaden to be great again this year.
All right, that's recapping week. Well, it's supposed to be weeks 1 and 2, but we just did week 2. Um, and we'll give you a little preview of week 3. Listen to all the games and a little bit of what we expect. But for the topic that we both been waiting for is, did the Colts fail Anthony Richardson, or did Richardson fail the Colts? And everybody, if you're watching, go ahead and chime in. Let us know what you think. Did the Colts fail Anthony Richardson, or did Richardson fail the Colts? Amon, you go ahead, because you seem like you're a little bit fired up. But in your opinion,
All right.
did who failed who?
The Colts failed Anthony Richardson. And a couple reasons. All right. Number one, let's just do a backstory. I know we're not gonna be long on this because we've been running an hour and 30 minutes now. So thank you for guys that have been tuning in. Who's going to tune in and watch this with us and rock with us? The GM of the Colts, he's been there for 8 years. She's hired Shane Steichen 3 years ago, after what
Mhm.
he's seen, what he can do with Jalen Hurts. Right? You've had your embarrassment of riches with quarterbacks, right? You had Peyton Manning, you had Andrew Luck. Now you're trying to find your third one, Anthony Richardson, right? Yes, we know, Andrew Luck was a generational prospect. Well, yeah, generational prospect. You got him. Peyton Manning wasn't your guy, but he was still in the building when you were there. Go ahead, brother.
I don't know all of the exact number, but from Andrew Luck, it was a lot of quarterbacks. This
Yeah,
was
it was like,
starting.
yeah, it's double digits. It's not as bad as the Browns Tim Couch from 1999. So what we had now, but it's you done had some stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah, you
go
don't you
go ahead.
Gardner
Or
Minshew.
the Broncos. Or the
Or the
Broncos.
or the Raiders for that much. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or yeah, we don't have everybody from Jason Campbell, the Derek Carr, boy, times have been hard out there in the West. Trust me, I know. Times have been tough. It's still tough, but nevertheless, you know, what I'm saying you've seen some quarterbacks in your time. You've had Peyton Manning. I think he was there when Peyton Manning was there, or maybe on his way out. You drafted Andrew Luck. You had Richardson. So here's my thing, Larry, and I know you're going to probably disagree with me on some of this stuff. You knew Anthony Richardson coming out of the University of Florida was a raw prospect. You know, only had a year full of starts. And what did Bill Parcells always say? He wants quarterback to have at least 30 some starts on his belt before he come out. I don't know the exact number. Not saying that science holds true to this day because we know the games are like accelerating a lot faster and kids pick up a lot easier. But you drafted this guy with 12, 13 starts on his belt. You knew he was raw. You picked him at number 4. You picked him. You said, hey, I'm gonna take a top 5 pick on this guy. You and Shane Steichen said, hey, this is our guy. We're gonna, have a plan for him and get him up to speed. There was no plan. Up from what we see in there was no plan. Because if there was a plan, you wouldn't have threw him out there in the fire as a rookie. You would have signed a veteran to put in front of him to where he can learn the ropes, knowing that he only played 12 games at the University of Florida. And then Shane Steichen, you got hired for this particular reason to make him what he's supposed to be. You did it with Jalen Hurts. That's your calling card. That's probably one of the main reasons why you got that job is that Super Bowl run that Jalen had against the first time around against the Chiefs where they lost. You got that job saying, "Oh, he doing this with Jalen Hurts. I can. What if I can do this with Anthony Richardson? 6'5", 240, run a 4.4, 4.4, 4.5, whatever. Unicorn, athlete, talent, and I just feel like that they didn't put a plan in place for him to succeed. Yes, because there have been some stuff that he could have, done differently. Yes, the head tap. Yes, we know that's a bad look. But when you guys want to go out and sign Daniel Jones 1 year, $14 million, we might joke about it all the time, but I knew right then and there that Daniel Jones is going to be their starter because you're going to follow the money. You're not going to have a $14 million backup quarterback in the NFL. You're going to play. So I feel like it wasn't fair. Um, I'm not gonna say it wasn't fair. We just knew when that contract got signed, who was gonna win that job. Now, was that fair for people to say that as soon as that contract got signed? That's debatable. But I know certain people want to say, hey, something played into the fact of him losing that job, and it's not what you think it is. It's not, you know, race or whatever the case may be, yada yada yada. It was just certain decisions in politics that eventually leading to him not winning the job. So I think the Colts failed him by not giving him a Wally vet to him the mentor, throwing him out there. And ultimately, whatever plan they had for him, it didn't fruition because if they didn't, they wouldn't be fighting for their jobs and making decisions to present to a fan base. Say, hey, I'd rather have Daniel Jones start. If you was to ask any Colts fan out there right now, if you had to guess who would be your starter day one, they would not say Daniel Jones. They would say Anthony Richardson, but obviously that's not the case. So that's my little bit. That's how I feel about the situation. I think somebody will trade for Anthony Richardson. They're done with him in Indianapolis. I think somebody will trade for him because there's just too much talent there for him to not have a job. Excuse me, in the NFL. So it may not be this offseason, it may be next offseason. He might stick it out this year and put on his 5th year option next year and then find a new home in 2027. But he's just 23. He's younger than Bo Nix. He's younger than all those guys. He's just 23. He's still a baby. He's younger than Michael Penix. That's like 30. I'm joking, but whatever, however old he is. But yeah, man, I just feel like they just didn't do him they did him a disservice knowing the circumstances where he came from, how many starts he had, and where you guys picked him. Because just good as well as I know, Larry, when you pick somebody in the top 5, especially a quarterback, you have expectations. And was he
Sure,
ready for
got it.
those expectations? No, he was not ready, and you knew that. The whole league knew that, but you decided to pull the trigger. He didn't pick y'all. Y'all picked him. But now you want to say, oh, he considered might be considered a quote unquote bust or whatever because he didn't work out with y'all. Maybe you need a fresh change of scenery and go somewhere else and ball out. So
Yeah, I'm gonna say that for a fresh scenery, change of scenery would be nice. Now, pretty much, I have no disagreement with what you said because you explained it pretty well. But my only thing is the reason why I asked, did Richardson fail the Colts, is because yes, you can look at you can, when things go wrong, and you know this, when things go wrong, they always look at the head coach, which understandable because the coach is responsible for the preparation of the player and the team as a whole. Well, what happens if you're hearing so much out of the player not being prepared, things happening of not being prepared here, not fully aware of what's going on. The first preseason game, he was unaware of where the blitz was coming from.
right,
Things like that. So and you made a good point yesterday. We was talking off camera, but it's like, you know, how do we know that these coaches are not trying to put him in the right space,
right,
and he's just not, grasping onto it. Like you said earlier, we was talking about the head tap. That's not what you're going to see usually out of a top five pick. So I'm not going to say it's that he's done. I still think he's got a chance to start in this league. I know I joke and I say Daniel Jones, comeback player of the year. Is that an actual factual thing? We'll
no,
see.
you
But
mean that. You mean that. I know you
I
mean that.
mean it. I mean it. But I'm like, I'm not surprised if it doesn't happen because I
Sure.
know, I know what we were seeing at Daniel Jones. But is there a chance that Richardson can come back in this season to start? I absolutely think so, depending on if Daniel Jones is playing bad or not, in which we both suspect that he probably will. But I'm just hoping that when he does have that second chance to come in, that he just capitalize on it and just learn from what he needs to learn on and grasp
Right.
from like the clipboard and the headset, just taking it all in and just to improve.
Right. I understand I know exactly where you're coming from, and now, like I said, honestly, I respect your opinion, but this is the thing, man. With the national media and everything, when they, they only magnified the bad things that Richardson do. He made some plays in a Colts uniform. You like only he can do that. Like that 60-yard touchdown he threw to Alec Pierce last year off his back foot rolling the other way. You like, bro,
Amazing.
what
Yeah.
in the world? Like only he can do that. Like,
Yeah.
but then there's the plays that the head tap, they're not picking up the blitz and going to the hot in the first preseason game. What is going on? They start pointing that out. And I'm gonna read off two numbers for you: 15 and 70. 15 and 70. You know where they coming from? You know what I'm you know where I'm getting at?
What's that?
15 and 70. Anthony Richardson has only had 15 starts in the NFL. Daniel Jones has had 70. He had 70. So he's had time to go through the fire, learn from his mistakes, get better, or whatever the case may be. He's had multiple. We've seen the floor and ceiling of Daniel Jones by these 70 starts, right? We know what he is. Richardson ain't had a year's worth of starts yet. And Daniel Jones' ceiling is Anthony Richardson's floor. Because if he get the same amount of starts in preparation and time as Daniel Jones has got, the 70, whatever, it could be out of this world. Then if they both had 70 starts apiece, and you were still seeing the same thing from Daniel Jones, if you see it from Anthony Richardson with the equal amount of starts, you got me. I can't fight you. I'll say start Daniel Jones as well. But when you got a guy that's only had 15 starts in the National Football League, not even a whole full season, because a season's 18 weeks, he only been available for 15 of them strong.
It is not his
That
fault that he's been healthy. He been not
is right.
happy, happy
You
been
can't
healthy.
control that. But guess what? Daniel Jones missed games not being healthy as well, and other organizations have still given him a chance to fail multiple times. Yes, we know he got the playoff win versus the Vikings, that'll always be on his resume regardless. But that was in his second or third year, right? Of full time starting. This young man, 6'5", 240, ain't had 1 year of starting on his belt combined for a full season to see what he has. All I'm saying is, hey, the Colts got a good roster. My our guy Mike Patton, he, we talked about it the other day, about the Colts roster. Um, yeah, I think Richardson's ceiling is a lot high, way higher than Daniel Jones. And I just feel like they're giving up on him a little bit too early. But there's certain things that we may not see behind the scenes that's going on to may lead Steichen and them to say, hey, Daniel Jones our starter. Plus combining that he's made 1 year $14 million. You're not gonna have a $14 million quarterback, as I stated earlier, sitting on the bench just making money. You're going to play him. That's my little bit about it. I hope Anthony Richardson goes to a team that has some patience with a guy that has a veteran quarterback that he can sit behind and learn. Because I know a quarterback that's had the same issues that he had, that's playing for a team now, that's the starter, that had the same struggles that he's had when he was young. That would be okay if he go to a young a team with the older veteran he can learn behind, and then drop him in maybe in 2 years once that guy's 34, 35, 36, and he can take over. Because one coach, Pete Carroll, did say, "Hey, we flew down to Florida to take a look at him a couple years ago." I'm not saying nothing happened. I'm just saying, hey, if the offer is right, if you're truly done with him, I know he has talent. Hey, can we take a look at him, see if we can get something done? But that's my little bit on Anthony Richardson. I just think the Colts failed him with those multiple scenarios that I've given to this show. I'm getting old, bro. Oof.
Yeah, Raiders make the move. That's all. I know you. That's what you were lobbying for, but Raiders go ahead and make the move. So so the Broncos can continue to keep doing what we doing.
Hey,
Uh,
listen, if that happens, hey, guess what? If that happens, you know what? Y'all will be second in the division every year. That'll be beneficial for y'all, right? Cool. So I'm with it. I'm with it.
real quick, let's just we doing so we done with that topic.
Yeah, I'm done with the beef. Now let something come out, he get released. Then we get back on here and do something else. But it's a couple trades that went down today too while we were small trades. No, nothing major, but it's a couple rosters are starting to be getting shook around and shaped out there. So
Shoot him out.
I can't remember. They popped up on my timeline on my phone. I'm recording from my phone, so I can't really see them.
Uh, well, yeah, I don't see him either. So, real quick, let's just go over the preseason games. If there's anything that points out that think that people need to see or whatever, just go ahead and shoot them out. But the first preseason game Thursday night, you got Steelers Panthers.
No, I don't even. I just want to before you go ahead. Before you go, I just want to see if my boy played from Ohio State, Will Howard. I know he's hurt right now. I just want to see him. But if he not playing, then I ain't want to see. Ain't nothing I want to see there.
Will Howard and maybe a little bit more tech, maybe a little bit more Coker.
No, you ain't seeing
No,
them. They done. No,
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 they
no. They
done.
getting ready.
Okay.
They getting ready for September 7th. They done, bro. They done.
Then you got the Patriots and the Giants, and that's gonna be on Prime Video at 8.
Yeah, play all Giants, Patriots. Play all your starters, please. Play Drake May too, please.
Yeah. And Jackson Dart as well.
Yeah, play all of them. Especially for us, week one. Play Drake May. Play Travion. Play them. Play them all 4 quarters. I don't care.
Not Travion.
Oh,
Well, they need that for the season.
play him because I don't want to see a fresh Travion come September 7th. I'm shaking him. I don't want to see a fresh Travion. But good God, I'm already thinking about it. But
Friday you got the Eagles and the Jets, the Vikings and the Titans, the Falcons and the Cowboys, and then you got the Bears and the Chiefs.
mm,
Those are your Friday games. Your Saturday games, you got Broncos Saints, you got Ravens and Commanders,
mm-hmm.
Colts Bengals. The Ravens and Commanders one that's gonna be live, man.
Yeah,
It's
that'll be.
just going to a preseason game before, like
Yeah, and then and both teams are good too,
oh,
and they relevant. Oh God.
We're right up the road from each other.
Word up the
Uh,
street.
you got the Colts and the Bengals, Rams and the Browns, Texans and Lions, Seahawks, Packers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Bills, Buccaneers. You got the Chargers and the 49ers. And the last game will be the Raiders and the Cardinals. So anything you're looking forward to for your game?
Nah, nah. I just want to see for my game. All I want to see is I want to see Cam Miller and I want to see the backup offensive lineman continue to progress. That's it.
That's that's all the games for preseason week 3. Will come to you next week around this time to pre or come a day before to review all those games and get you ready for week 1. I think we got like another week before the actual week 1 starts, right?
Yeah, because this week is what this is
This
the
is
this is the 20th. The 21st is tomorrow, and then next Thursday is the 28th. So 2 weeks from tomorrow is week one,
so football. Football ends. So we got to go through a whole week without football before we get it. Like,
pretty much. Dallas and Philly is that Thursday night, September 4th. So
and then you got a game Friday and then Sunday. So okay. Yeah.
yeah. But
Um,
but on the bright side though, week zero, I don't know how many college football fans are here. Week zero starts this Saturday. We got four
that's
games that start Saturday, starting at 12 o'clock. So I mean they ain't the heavy hitters. The heavy hitters will be out next Saturday. The Clemson's, the Texases, the Ohio States. But matter of fact, Texas or Ohio State next Saturday at 12 o'clock. That's gonna
that's
be the banger.
next Saturday.
Next the 30th at 12 o'clock. That's gonna be a banger. Ready for that one. But this week we got like Kansas and somebody playing, Arkansas and somebody playing. So yeah, it's four games this Saturday coming up. So I'm excited. College football is back. Football that means something is back. Starting this Saturday, and this is going to be the last Saturday. I mean, this is the last week without major football being on that means something because we got college on Saturdays, and then the pros start that next week on that Thursday, and then it's been boom, boom, boom. And then we got Monday night football, Sunday night football, Thursday. Then you got the Thursday college game, and then you got the Friday college game. Oh man, it's good time. It's good time. It's getting the baseball playoffs getting heated up.
Oh man,
Training
what
camp
a
for basketball gonna start.
what a
2KB out.
what a
Oh man,
time!
this is great. This is
What a
good.
time! The best time of the year.
Best time of the year. I think this is better than Christmas, if you ask me.
Yes, sir.
Now that I'm an adult, this is better than Christmas. As a kid, mm-mm. But now that I'm an adult, this is better than Christmas. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man, about everything, man. I'm looking to see these. I'm looking to see these pros. I'm looking to see these college boys. I'm looking to see Arch and see what he does as far as coming out. And I'm gonna say something right quick before I get off this. I know this is an NFL thing, but you know how Arch said, "Hey, I'm not coming out. He gonna stay at Texas one more year." It depends on who has number one overall pick and what city is a vibe. Let's say, for example, somebody like the Jets had number one overall pick. You are Manning. You've been in the spotlight your whole life. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You think I'm staying at school and get all that New York pub? I'm out of there. Dad, I want to go play in the Jets. I want to go play for the Jets. But that's my little side ball about Arch Manning right now. So
Do you think
um,
they'll do that? Because I mean, from what I hear, they real big on education and like they want them guys to finish all 4 years. So
yeah, but it all depends on. It's different from when Eli Payton's coming up than Arch. It's different now. What if you win the Heisman, win that championship? What you got? What else you got to do? And then you win the Heisman, you win that championship, and then either the Jets got the number one overall pick. You in the big New York market. You know your uncle have been there already. You look at all the endorsements he got off the field. Look at all the money he making off the field and on the field.
yeah.
Okay, but that's my little rant about Arch in college though. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this season. Um, we're gonna have more guests on. I'm going to make an appearance on y'all Sunday Night Hype as well. Y'all just let me know when y'all want me to be on. I'll peep in for a few seconds and give my opinion on some things. I know my boy Rob. He's always animated. He always got opinions about everything, so it's good to hear his. Um, But yeah, man, that's all I got for today. And what about you, brother?
Yeah, maybe we can make that happen for this Sunday. We can get you on there for Sunday night hype. We'll talk to Rob about that, and maybe we can get us a little pod going. Before for strictly for college.
Sure.
And if you want to be able to do that, so we may come back to you guys later on in the week before the college football games kick off on Saturday. So I don't have anything else. Butler, you don't have anything. It's been great. Almost going on 2 hours here. So thanks for everybody for tuning in and commenting, like, share, subscribe. And until later on this week, maybe we'll see you then.